Colorado, led by shooter Sanders on the final drive, tied it up with a 2-point conversion. In overtime, they managed to get a game-sealing interception, and I mean, my goodness, this is a game that had the fireworks, man. We know all of the press and media coverage this game was getting due to some comments that Colorado State head coach Jay Norvell made about Deion Sanders, or more so about him, but you know. And this is a game that had Travis Hunter get injured by Colorado State safety. I forgot the brother's name, but Travis Hunter got hurt towards the end of the first half, and actually has a lacerated liver based on my reports, and will be out for 3 to 4 weeks. But clearly that didn't stop Shedeur Sanders, who went 38 for 47 with 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Though Colorado didn't have much of a rushing attack, they were led by Dylan Edwards, who had 10 carries for 57 yards. Like I said, the receiving corps, Xavier Weaver had a touchdown, 98 yards. Michael Harrison had 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Horn had 7 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown to tie the game in regulation. And it was a wow. I mean, like I said, this is why you watch college football right here. And though, like I said, a lot of people, myself included, didn't expect this game to be particularly close. We see that Colorado State is actually a pretty good team. They're not ranked in the top 25. They lost a close game, their first game of the year against against Washington State. I'm sorry. We saw Washington State was able to do to Wisconsin. So they were a formidable opponent, and wow, I mean, they came to play, and though their quarterback Nicolisi had 3 interceptions, also had 3 touchdowns. But I was really impressed with Torrey Horton, man, of the receiver from Colorado State. I mean, if he doesn't look like a prototypical receiver, I mean, 6'2", 6'3", extremely long. He made an unbelievable catch in the third quarter, I want to say, tiptoeing down the sideline, and it was just phenomenal. I mean, that might have been the best catch I had seen all year, but up to that point. But gosh, this game just had so much to unpack. And I mean, let me know what you guys think. What was the best part about this Colorado State game? What was the biggest takeaway for you guys? For me, this game showed me that Shedeur Sanders is an elite level quarterback. No doubt about it. I've seen enough film. I've seen enough to make a decision. Shedeur Sanders is elite, and he can play at the next level. No question about it. I also have seen that the offensive line they're just undersized at Colorado, and I don't know what schemes you can run to hide that. They're just undersized, and that physicality is gonna play a factor. Obviously, gonna play a huge factor, especially with their matchup against Oregon coming up this week. But the secondary for Colorado is still quite good, and honestly, it makes up for a lot of the deficiencies that are in the front seven. And this is what we talked about before. Just the interior for the offensive line and the defensive line for Colorado. That's where they struggle, just because they're undersized. But the skill position players at Colorado are just so talented. I mean, my goodness. Shiloh Sanders played an amazing game as well. I believe he had an interception, return for a touchdown. He had 7 tackles. He played phenomenal as well, especially late in the later stretches of that game. It's just Colorado's impressive, especially with their skilled players, and it's just amazing the turnaround. We talked about yesterday. This is what happens when you change culture and you focus on culture, and not necessarily winning games. This is the outcomes you get, and but Colorado will struggle. They will struggle because they can't generate a lot of pressure on the defensive side, and they can't contain pressure on the offensive side. So Um, the fact that Shedeur was able to do all this with a weak offensive line is just even more impressive. And I mean, this team is, these skill players are legit. Shedeur Sanders is legit, but they're going to struggle. I just don't know what their ceiling is and how good they can really be with their weak offensive line and defensive line that they have. But this matchup against Oregon this upcoming week will say a lot. But man, what a game! What an exciting game in Colorado. And I mean, it was a star-studded event. I mean, they had basketball players, musicians there, other football players, NFL players. I mean, my goodness, what a game! It was exciting, and it is incredible to see the impact that one program is having on one man, Deion Sanders, having on college football. And another impressive thing that I saw was his coaching methods, Deion's coaching methods, and how especially with the kids from today's generation respond to this style of coaching. You know, the days of coaches being in your face and yelling at you and really being vocal and not necessarily volatile, but volatile to players on the sideline after a mistake, those are gone. And we see that Deion was more consoling to his players, and speaking with them on the sideline when they would make a mistake, and that's what players are gravitating. That's what players gravitate more towards today. And Deion has shown a great job of adjusting and knowing his players and knowing the dynamic that young players like to be coached in today, and he's doing a great job of adjusting to that, and that was also an amazing thing to see. But wow, what a game, guys! What a game! But guys, one game that's a little less exciting but still manages to develop a lot of questions for us was the matchup between Alabama and USF, and what exactly is going on in Alabama. Guys, we're gonna cover all of that and then some in our next segment, so be sure to stick around. We'll be right back.